So have you activated the meeting?
Yes.
And who's going to be secretary?
I'll play secretary, given no one else is rushing forward to nominate.
That's not very fair, is it? And this is just a tactical meeting.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, the first point of a tactical meeting is that we go around the group and we'll just start at wherever I say we start, because I'm the facilitator, and just do a quick check-in round to find out where everyone's up to. So let's start at the beginning, which is Dahi, according to me. How are you, Dahi?
I'm good, Joanne. Thank you. Here in Western Australia, present, no distractions, ready to go.
Okay, Melissa?
Yep, I'm here, a little bit tired still from the weekend, but halfway through the week, so should start to pick up again soon.
Fantastic. Max?
Hey, good. Here, ready.
Cool. Curtis?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. Ben Rushton? I can't hear you, Ben. We're going to say you're good and ready to go unless you tell us otherwise. Dustin?
Okay, all good here.
And Abinand? Sorry, is that how you say your name? Abinand?
Abhinand is how I say it, but
sorry.
That's okay. You can call me AB if that's easier.
Oh, I might go with AB because I'm
perfect.
dumb. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I'm here ready to go.
So AB, yeah, we just do a quick check-in round to start with. So just see if everyone's ready or not, or if they have anything, then let us know. And Andy.
Yes, I have audio again.
Woohoo! Congratulations. And I am also clearly present and ready to go. So the second step that we do in a Holacracy tactical meeting is just very quickly do a checklist review. And this is really where we go through and quickly check what needs doing. It's either a yes, I've done it, or no, I haven't, or you can say check or no check for the preceding week. Have we got someone actually sharing this screen for the group, or do people need a link to log in? So we actually have nothing on our checklist in campaigns. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we will go straight to the next item, which is the metrics review. Do we have anything in metrics? Yes, we do. So I will briefly go through each metric, and each person assigned to a metric can report on it briefly and talk about the latest data. So the number of candidates, the candidates that are endorsed, each mention how many articles or mentions that they've had that are organic. So let's start with the good news, because we know that we've got some with you, Dustin, and I'll go back to the other candidates after that.
Yeah, I mean, how many mentions, as in news stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one that I'm aware of, I just mentioned to Dahi on Friday, but yeah, one that I'm aware of at the moment.
Yep, cool. Curtis, I know you're another candidate here. Any news stories that you're aware of?
No, nothing special of value. No.
No, that's cool. Ben Rushton, is there any news stories that you're aware of? No, Ben's silent. Sorry. So I'm not aware of any news stories for myself. I do know I sent out a bunch of media releases, so maybe I just need to watch the media more closely. And the only other person that might know here is Max. I know you're not a candidate, Max, but I'm just thinking Max and Dahi might want to add to this.
No further updates.
No, cool. And Max, yeah.
Oh, yes. Blogs or Medium articles only by chance today because I was going through Google Analytics, but nothing substantial.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered another one. Ben Belingle was on a podcast a few days ago called Brass Monkey or something, I think. So, which is actually quite good.
Yeah, that's very good.
Cool. So that's the end of the candidates endorsed number of articles. So project leaders, number of new members. Who is the project leader that I'm asking? Dahi?
Joanne, that would be you, I think, an engagement group. Like, has there anything worth reporting there?
Yeah. So obviously it's changing every day and we're getting new members every day. So I think I had 157 at the Monday meeting in the previous month, but we've had more people since today. So I'd be saying in the last month we've had maybe 170 people roughly that are new members to Flux. And then the next one would be me as well, I'm guessing, number of polling booths covered. My impression at the moment is that we're looking at 25 in New South Wales, around 10 to 15 in Victoria, and I'm not quite sure how many are in WA yet because I'm having trouble getting hold of that data. I do know that we've got a newsletter going out tonight, so the numbers may change fairly quickly around that or in the next day or so. So project leaders, number of volunteers activated. So it depends on what you call activated. We've got more than 60 volunteers who've now filled out a profile that have indicated where they want to be involved. So let's call that activated. I'm not quite sure what else you would call activated. And then donations, I'm guessing, is Ben Rushton, if you're able to talk, Ben.
Hey guys, yeah, sorry, I just rejoined the meeting. The fundraiser is sitting on $1,950 in total.
Cool. And
individual candidates, any of them doing well?
Is anybody doing well? Did you ask?
As in individual candidates' fundraising pages, are they all quite slow?
There's a leaderboard on the fundraiser page, and Dustin is leading on $610.
That's not why I asked.
Yeah,
that's it.
But that's the idea, guys, is that...
One now, Dustin, that's it. I'll raise it myself. And the last one is the social media organic reach. I don't think we've got a social media person on the line, so I presume we will skip that.
Yes.
Okay, so the next item that we go through in a tactical meeting, and I will just quickly paste in for anyone who feels unfamiliar with tactical meetings, the sort of agenda that is run often in a tactical meeting. There's a link to it. The next thing is project updates. And I will read out each project and say, have we got any updates? And the project owner can either respond no updates or say what has changed since the last meeting. If you want to ask clarifying questions, that's fine, but we're going to try to not get out into a crazy discussion. So if you just need a bit more information, that's cool. So the project updates, wow, this is a long list. Let's start with Dahi and the 10-day campaign. Do you want to talk to that, Dahi?
The 10-day campaign was emailed out to all candidates and people at these meetings at the end of last week. It's in Notion. I'll put it in the chat and send it on to everyone. But it's just that those high-level tasks we discussed last week. And that's, to the best of my knowledge, just in progress and understood by people. Didn't get any further comment.
And then the next one, assigning campaign managers.
Curtis and Dustin, are holding the ground and doing that, and Joanne, yourself and Ben are kind of, just splitting the logistical tasks between you there. So I think that's just as it is. If we get anyone, coming on to the campaign at a late stage who wants to really get involved in contributing time and hours into something like this, they can take some of the workload off any of those people and take those responsibilities.
Yeah, cool. So may as well tick it off, hey?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So the next item that we have is the endorsed candidates. So candidates on hustings pre-election. Do you want me to go through each of these candidates individually to ask this question?
I would say I have it as a triage item.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
More value further down.
Yep. And then flyers for election day. So my understanding is that the flyers have been delivered. I know Dustin has them. I know Dahi has them. Ben, can you confirm if you have them in Tyro?
I can confirm that they're on Flux's desk in Tyro. I haven't been to Tyro.
Yep, cool. So the flyers are there. They just, the next step really is to get them distributed, but they've been done.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the next one down after that is campaign email direct marketing. Andy, did you want to talk to this?
We are finalising the email to go out to request for polling day volunteers to hand out the flyers. Just finalising the form now, and that'll be ready to go out tonight.
Yeah, cool. And just a clarification, I know you also sent out a newsletter last week about who the candidates were. Was that something that had any interest in it, or anything that you can feed back about what you learned as a result of that?
Yes, we did get some. I'm just calling it up now. We got some quite a few clicks on there, quite a few responses. I think any of the engagement officers that have access to the reports should probably have a look at the reports and maybe contact directly some of the people who open the email more than once. There's a few people on the reports that actually open the email 10 or more times, and you can actually see who they are. And there's also people who forwarded the email to other people, and you can see who they are in the reports. And I think they need to be prioritised for contact, because they're obviously very interested.
Yep. So if you are not already logged in,
I've added it as a triage item.
Added it. Thank you very much, because I was getting distracted trying to add triage items. Okay, so the next item on the list going down is, and I believe there was one other social media one, which was Mel's day where she was doing some fundraising and some artwork sales. Yes. That's really articulate of me. And I presume there was an email that went out on that too.
Yes, there was an email that went out on that. And the social media page actually reached about 2,500 people. We probably had around about 60 people turn up, just walkthroughs through the day. So it's no wonder that Mel's a little bit tired today. I'm surprised she's actually got a voice. She was talking to a lot of people. We couldn't have picked a better location. It was right across the road from a brewery in the middle of one of our biggest tourist regions. So it was quite a popular day.
Cool. So sorry, I just thought I'd get some clarifying questions on that social media one, because I knew there was a couple of others. So the next thing on the list after that was, sorry Dahi, I can see screens moving around a bit, so.
Yeah, I forget that I'm sharing my screen sometimes.
Yep, so the next one is social media content. Have we got someone that's happy to speak to that, given we don't have Ben here?
I can briefly speak to it. I think, the social media team are doing a great job. Like, the content that's coming through from Andy, and there's good cross sharing among all the pages. But I think Ben has also put a call out, so something I've added as a triage item about content for the final 10 days.
Yeah, cool. So after we finish off with the projects in a tactical meeting, we go into building an agenda. So you might have seen Dahi doing this on his screen as we'll go in. You can actually add items to the left-hand side. Given that not everyone uses Glassfrog in this meeting, if there's something that you would like added, if you could just say in 2 or 3 words what it is you would like discussed here, that would be great. So I'll give an example to start with. Can we say allocating volunteers to polling stations? Cool. So is there anything else that people would like to have added? You can see that there's a number of items already listed down the side. Yep. Cool. And the other one is the handing out flyers. I'll add that to myself. Yeah, thanks. So here we go. So for each item, what I will say is to the person whose name is against the item, I'll say, what is it that you need out of this item? And then the person hopefully will be able to say what it is that they need, and then we'll write down any jobs that need doing. So I'll just start at the beginning of the list and we'll go through from there. So let's start with, unless anyone really wants something done first because they need to go, we'll start with volunteers for election day. Dahi, what do you need?
I need confirmation that the engagement working group and candidates have everything they need, that there's no blockers for candidates and engagement working group to ensure that any available and willing volunteers are contacted and resourced for election day. So it's really just kind of a high-level question there to call out any blockers that are holding things up for candidates or engagement working group.
So is there any blockers that anyone can identify for this?
Yes, as in, like, is everybody fully across the work, are all the candidates fully aware of the work that they need to do, have their call lists and all of the information shared among the engagement working group so that there's a coordinated view for where we stand for election day?
Yeah, well, I can obviously speak for Victoria, and we're still working through our list of volunteers that will potentially be manning polling stations. We have got a few confirmed, but we're still working through a few possibilities. Got all of our flyers and that type of thing. We're just organising some shirts for volunteers. Other than that, we're fine. So it's just a matter of continuing to talk to volunteers.
Cool.
Yeah. And for New South Wales, I know that we have called all of the people and emailed all the people. So it's really just a matter of getting the right ones, like the right polling stations allocated to the volunteers and getting materials posted to those who can't pick up at Tyro. And I can see
WA, I'm not sure where Leo and Melissa are at with it, but I had about 105 who indicated that they were interested in volunteering. I've gotten through about 25 of them. I've maybe got 5 who are interested potentially, and I aim to get through the rest by the end of this weekend, and hopefully get some more, and then engage them, make sure they've got the flyers and they get there on election day to specific polling booths.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure where Melissa and Leo are at with the ones they were allocated.
So I noticed that Melissa said in the chat, I've had the blocker of time this week, but I'll talk to Curtis and Leo next week. And I believe that Erin is also working quite hard. She's told me that she's calling volunteers across the rest of the state that weren't, like, not the ones within the city that the candidate's covering, but the rest of the state. I'm not quite sure where she's up to on that, but on Monday, that's what she said. So did you get what you needed?
I'm just going to add on top of that, there's Andy sending out an email to, I think it's nationally or towards all the states who've got candidates, anyone, just to ask for anybody that's willing to volunteer to see what they can do. So that's just a blanket email going out to everybody, I think.
And I think the other thing that would be good is that from that email to then share that on social media, across the social media sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the volunteer for election day now. That'll be ready to go shortly. I am doing a more generic one to see if people want to volunteer in other ways. And I'm also going to back that up with a social media post that I can share out for everybody else to copy and use as well.
Beautiful. Did you get what you need, Dahi?
Yes.
Cool. You don't look convinced.
Well, it's part one of a multi-part needs requirement being filled. But like, yes, I think the general thrust of what it is I was looking for there has been addressed by everyone, kind of ensuring that they're aligned.
Yeah, cool. So item 2 on the list is volunteers for pre-election day. Dahi, what do you need?
I need candidates to either confirm or update on the status of where they are in terms of getting their volunteers resourced in the days and weeks leading up? Like, have we confirmed either an event for next weekend or a process to go around and ensure that it would say local pre-election volunteers or local volunteers are engaged in person pre-election? And that's really from the candidates, just to ensure that they have it in hand.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. It's certainly in progress, but there's still a lot to be done. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll refine it. I just want to call it, is there anything that's blocking any of the candidates from doing this, or anyone that they'd like to call on for help to try and expedite it or do something with it? That's actually... Can
I just check, Max, is there a date and time for that at Tyro?
No, I don't think anything's been set or organised.
Okay. So are you happy to talk to Ben Rushton about that?
Yeah,
because
sure.
like I won't be able to get to Tyro, obviously. So
No, yeah. I mean, Tom Sesselman, Nathan, and myself are at least the people with keys. Yeah. So any of us are potential avenues in.
Yeah. I guess who's responsible for ensuring that volunteers get their resource, their flyers? Am I responsible for that?
Ultimately, it's an accountability of the campaign in general. Like, ultimately, it would be my responsibility, but it's like in practice, it's a shared responsibility between awareness working group working with the candidates to get remote volunteers filled, and the candidates to try and do it locally as well. It's a shared responsibility or shared accountability, really.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any other things on that point, or did you get what you need, Dahi?
That's it. Confirming that there's pick-up events or processes for volunteers pre-election. I'm
just aware that we didn't hear back from WA, so...
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so regarding WA, seems like time's been a limitation for both me and Melissa, via volunteers. I was planning on having something this Saturday, but I don't think we're going to be ready. So I'm thinking something mid next week, and I'll have to talk to Leo and Melissa and coordinate myself as well to make sure that we've gotten through that whole list of people who've indicated themselves as volunteers, and then gotten those people to one place. I'm thinking probably Wednesday next week if we can have that done. And then if we've got any problems contacting those volunteers, we can redistribute them amongst ourselves so that we haven't missed out on any opportunity come election day.
Yeah, cool. So Dahi, I'm assuming you got what you need because you've already ticked it off.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah, go for it.
We'll confer Curtis, but I've got next week as annual leave. So as well as doing some confirmations of pre-poll, I can host the event and I can do stuff around that. So we'll get working on that in the next couple of days.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good. I certainly don't want to miss out on, like, I've got 80 people to get through. I don't know how many you've got, I don't know how many Leo's got, but there'd be more than 100 people there that we haven't hit up about volunteering. So we'll
so that would definitely
make sure that happens.
Yeah, that will be a priority for me late this week, early next week, and I'll keep conferring with you, and we can use Erin for a bit of help there too.
Yeah, sweet. All right. Between you, we'll make sure we get it done.
Cool. So I'm going to assume that, so did you get what you need and go on to the next point, Dahi, which is the after parties. What do you need?
I need people in each state to organise an event for post poll. I know in WA has done that. I just want to create want to assign it to somebody who will take responsibility for just ensuring that we have a room where people can go to in both somewhere in Victoria and in New South Wales post-election, if possible.
I can't believe he might have put his hand up for that last time for us, I'm pretty sure. I mean, last meeting, I think he was talking about.
It did, yeah.
I'm meeting him for a coffee tomorrow morning. I'll check with him.
Great. I'll just assign it to him in the meantime. And do we have anyone taking care of that in New South Wales?
Yeah, in terms of after party stuff, I've got a venue and all that sort of jazz.
Cool.
Nice work, Max.
Well, it wasn't that difficult, but thanks.
You can take the credit easy then. So did you get what you need out of that,
Yes.
Dahi?
Fantastic, thank you.
Hustings events, Dahi, what do you need?
I need the candidates to either identify or confirm and ideally some sort of activity or event for next weekend where they're going out in public and ideally, getting some photographs of themselves, just being out in public to kind of have something that we can hopefully generate a bit of content and a bit of just a small bit of buzz around it for the candidates to actually engage with people out, who are just out and about on a Saturday, and to really try and get the election campaign experience of talking to regular voters.
Yeah, well,
I've actually done a great big long calendar for Mel for next week. So if she's sitting at home at any point next week, I want to know why.
Great.
We're getting together on Sunday at a pub in Melbourne, and we're hoping to get a whole heap of volunteers there to, so we can go over the plan and hand out flyers and that sort of thing. So we might be able to turn that into something we can use.
Yes. Yeah, I really would like all the candidates to, to canvass, like to just get out there on a busy street and to engage in the process of, trying to communicate with people who by many stretches of the imagination won't be interested in it, because it's a vital part of the campaign experience for candidates to spend a few hours at the very least, engaging with the public.
Yeah.
And like the wild public.
Yeah, the trying to sell something to somebody that's not looking to buy something, those sorts of ones.
Exactly, the fun.
So
what you mean.
So Dahi, for some time now, I've been planning to talk to people while I make like balloon animals, and I'll get some shots of that done, like me standing out with a fluff shirt making like flowers and
fantastic
stuff. And I'll just go to whatever market's on, and I'll just do that and talk to parents about their kids' futures.
Yes.
For free, as long as they get the balloon for free, so long as they listen.
Maybe get some flux balloons.
Balloons are a brilliant one, actually. Yeah.
You can't twist flux balloons. You need you just use all multicolors.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, that'll give me something to do.
Cool. So that's just an accountability that I'm putting on all the candidates. And as you're doing it, enjoy it. Try and catalogue feedback on the questions and concerns that you get from people, and try and get as many photographs and just little bits of media as possible, because this is the sort of stuff that will actually work well on social media and just in general as us, for building up a bank of materials that we can use for various things. So I got what I was looking for.
Sorry, for a second I forgot I was facilitating. I was looking to see what markets were on this weekend. Let me go back to being a facilitator. Okay, so the next item on the facilitation list is how to vote cards. Dahi, what do you need?
Andy, did you receive the email last night, and is everything clear in regards to the process we will do to create and post those how to vote cards online, etc.?
Yes, I only got to have a quick look at them because I've actually been out of the office all day, but I'll have a deeper look tomorrow. But yeah, on first glance, they look pretty straightforward.
Cool. Can you give me an expectation of when you'd hope to have something ready for us?
Either late tomorrow or Friday.
Friday, excellent. And then just to close out that process, once those are created in in like whatever image format. If you pass it through to myself, Max, or Tom Sesselman, we'll arrange to get them, and Ben Belingle in social media, we'll arrange to get them posted on our social media channels and also on the website.
Yep, no problem.
Well, did you get what you need, Dahi?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so the next item that we have on our agenda list is email content. Dahi, what do you need?
This is me somewhat putting a request in Andy's mouth. I want Andy to call out her requirements for content for the email marketing for the next 10 days. Andy, can you tell us what it is you want, what it is you expect from people, and to some extent, can you call out specific requirements from certain people so we can really nail down what content we should be generating and deadlines around getting it to you?
Okay, anybody who's got an event happening at all, I need to know the specifics of the event and who you want to target, whether it's just local or whether it's national. Volunteer emails will be going out. If you've got specific needs for volunteers for any specific event that you're holding, then I need to know prior so that I can include that. And any media that you're any interviews you're doing, any media you attend, anything you're going to, just fill my mailbox with everything that you're doing.
Yeah. And everybody has.
If you're standing on the side of a highway holding up signs, I want to know about it.
And everybody should have Andy's email and direct access to contact.
Yep. So did you get what you need out of that, Dahi?
I did.
Oh, we haven't finished. Sorry.
Yeah, I did. I should put this one.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's how to vote and email content. I'll just tick them off as we go. Candidate profiles, video project. Dahi, what do you need?
What I need is for candidates to coordinate with either myself or Ben Belingle to get some short footage of them just talking about themselves or answering some questions, just some sort of video content that we can start pumping out via social media next week, because the 10-day plan incorporates 7 days of kind of candidate profiles, and video content in any shape or form is just so much, it punches so much further on the social channels. So the requirement is all candidates to liaise with Ben Belingle primarily and myself as required, or anyone else who wants to get involved, to try and generate some low friction video content in, ideally before or during the weekend.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question? How long do you want the content to be?
I would say minimum of 2 minutes.
Yep.
And probably no more than 10 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, but I don't want to put restrictions. Like if candidates want to, do something that has more time, absolutely go for it. But I just
so you want us to? So you want a video of us just answering the questions, or what I'm thinking is I'm going to be with Ben tomorrow for a while. Do you actually want me to get? Would it be suitable to have some video of the tours with him asking me questions, or do you want me on my own?
I think I always find it's much easier to do this stuff when you bounce it off, if you have someone to bounce off in person. So I would absolutely encourage yourself and Ben to try and capture some moments there. And I think he'll be really good at doing that. Yes, I highly
try to do that.
recommend that. That's great.
Cool. Did you get what you need, Dahi? He's like, I need more time to write it up, Joanne.
Yes, that's assigned to people. That's great.
Yep. Okay, so the next item is live stream next week. Dahi, what do you need?
I will send out, myself and Max are going to do an initial live stream tomorrow evening. I'm just going to talk a little bit about how to vote, how to vote process and the candidate process, just a little bit of something. But for next week as well, we're going to try and do a few more live streams, and I will put them in the calendar and invite all of the candidates. And if you're free during that time, just drop into these live streams that will push out ideally through YouTube and Facebook. So the requirement really is candidates, where possible, to make the effort to be free for those live stream times so that you can be involved.
Yep. Did you get what you need out of that information, or did you need more?
Yeah, hang on, I'll just need to document send.
You used to advise times as soon as you can, Dave.
Yes, I'll do that. I'm creating that requirement for myself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Invites to.
I'm back in.
Okay.
Okay, next item then?
Yeah.
Okay, so the email follow-up process. What do you need, Dahi?
Email follow-up process. I don't know. I'm going to skip over that. I can't remember.
Woohoo, that was easily resolved. Okay, allocating volunteers to polling stations. So what I need to let people know is that in HubSpot there is a field called Federal Polling Station or Volunteer Polling Station. There's also a field called Federal Volunteer. I will be going through, and anyone who has a yes against Federal Volunteer will be allocated a polling station, and I'll be contacting them. First by email and also by phone and text to say you've been allocated to this polling station. Are you able to pick up or receive flyers in the city? And if not, do we need to post them to you? So I'll be doing that over the next few days. I just needed people to know that. That's all I really needed, unless anyone has a clarifying question. No clarifying questions? Going?
Yeah, yep. When we mark people down that they're going to be a volunteer for the federal election, you will then follow them up, will you?
Yeah, I was going to follow them up and allocate them a polling station, but if other people want to allocate the polling stations from their states, that's why I mentioned that was my plan to do that here. But
yeah.
If not, then
that's cool.
Yeah.
I think me, you, Melissa, and Leo.
Yep.
Melissa, send me a thing. Let Joanne do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just thinking about. I've got to make sure that me and Leo and Melissa contact them all, so you have that information there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there that haven't been contacted yet, so we'll get onto that. I'll focus on that, and then you can.
Yeah, if you focus on finding the volunteers, I'll focus on hustling them into their stations.
Yeah.
And making sure that they've got the materials they need when they get there. Yeah. So that's all I need. Anyone else has a clarifying question for me? Yeah. I have no idea why I have handing out flyers there. So I'm going to woohoo skip my own. And the last one, Dahi, we mentioned this before the meeting, but I just thought I'd minute it in the meeting. I know that there's been a number of people asking me how come we don't have a lot of candidates for Flux. And I was just wondering if we could get a newsletter article out about it.
Yeah. I started after our phone call. I started that, so I've got that pretty much written now, and I just put it in the chat. And I also have a nice little Section 44. Melissa plays a big part in it. And let's see, can I upload this in here? Oh, no. I've got a nice diagram as well that shows the flow of people.
Yes, beautiful diagram. I remember seeing that. I really loved it.
I'll pop that in the chat presently. But yes, that's being done.
Cool. So let me refocus for a second on being facilitator. I'm happy that that's done. So I got what I need. If anyone else would like something discussed at the meeting, please add it to the agenda item. I'll just refresh my screen a couple of times to see if anyone's been enthusiastic.
Joe, our Flux members asking why there's so few candidates?
The engagement working group were asking why on the Monday meeting, and obviously a number of them don't even have candidates in their states. So,
okay,
you know, like Tas, Queensland, ACT, South Australia. So, which reminds me, it's probably worth making sure that when we ask for people to hand out flyers, we only send that email to New South Wales, Victoria and WA, because all the other states, if we get people handing out flyers, there's no one to vote for them. It could get complicated. It could be confusing.
Just spread the word anyway.
Vote for nobody.
Those donkey votes.
Yeah, well, apparently we are likely to get donkey votes backwards in some state. But anyway, that's me diverting. I believe there are no more items for discussion. I can't see any. If I'm wrong, please let me know. So this moves us into our final closing round, which is just that we go through and ask each person how they went with the meeting, any thoughts or reflections, and we don't need to discuss anything. I'm going to start with you, Dahi.
Great meeting, Joanne. Well facilitated. The fact that we've gotten through so much and still 10 minutes ahead I'm very pleased. So thank you.
You are welcome. Melissa.
Thanks for a beautiful, quick meeting, Joe, because I've got mothering requirements very soon. Thanks. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Max.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Always nice to have brisk meetings.
No trouble. Curtis.
Yeah, great meeting. I've had a bit of a flu since the beginning of the week, but I'm starting to come good now. So, yeah, it's good.
Cool. Mr. Rushton.
Yeah, thanks for facilitating, Joe. You explained everything to people that weren't familiar with Holacracy, I thought, well. Thanks.
No trouble. Dustin.
Yeah, good meeting. Yeah, there's still obviously a bit to do in not much time, but I think we're all in the same place and we're getting there.
Yeah. AB.
Yeah, thank you so much for including me in this meeting. I was just wondering, given the short duration left until elections, if there's like how do I keep myself engaged? How do I kind of keep myself abreast of what's happening?
Sure. So where are you based, AB?
In Melbourne. I'm in touch with Dustin and Rhys, but apart from that, is there any online channel that?
I am sure that Dustin and Rhys will give you plenty of work if you ask for it.
Probably, yeah, one of the probably best ways to keep across what we're doing is we'll get you into a little sort of couple of chat groups we've got on Messenger and that sort of thing. That's probably the best.
Yeah. And AB, if you feel like ringing people, I've got a lovely list that you can ring around.
I don't mind at all.
Okay.
Great, thanks. Yeah.
No trouble. Well, I will set it up so that you can ring around.
Sure.
I'll put my contact details in the chat, and if you put yours in, I'll contact you after the meeting, and I'll just
do that.
On the last two, Andy. Sorry, Andy, we got diverted partway through that. That's very bad facilitating.
No, all good. It's been a busy week, so happy with covering everything in such a short period of time.
Cool, no trouble. And for myself, thank you everyone for indulging my somewhat less military style of facilitation. And it's been really lovely to have everyone on the call.
Cool, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, everyone.
No trouble.
Just
I'll stop.
Okay.